Alright YouTube, so we are back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we're doing a follow-up to a video I did like 2 months ago at this point, I believe, where we talked about the ending for Part 2, why I think that Nibelheim is the perfect ending when it comes to Part 2. Now, this video itself isn't like a direct follow-up to that video, it's just about like one thing I said in that video, and it's about Cloud learning the truth of his past, like sooner than he did in the original FF7, which of course is in the Midil segment, where him and Tifa go into the live stream. Now, all of this is based off of a lot of the stuff they show and do in Remake that are teasing Cloud learning this information from, Aerith actually saying Zack's name in the park, which she didn't do in the original FF7. She does in Remake, but obviously Cloud blinks it out.
What's his name? I probably know him.
You also have Hojo directly telling Cloud that he was not a member of Soldier.
Yeah.
No, not quite. Oh, now I recall. My memory was mistaken. My boy, you weren't a soldier.
And you, of course, have the highway scene towards the end of Remake, where it seems like Sephiroth is showing our group the vision of Zack. And why I say that is because it's framed in that way, where we get the staticky vision, we also have all the lights flying around, similar to whenever we're defeating parts of the Whisper Harbinger and our group is getting visions. That's what happens here. But also mainly whenever the vision starts, we're on the character of Cloud, but when we come out of the Zack scene, we're on the character of Aerith. So I've always interpreted it as the group being shown that scene.
Come and get it!
And I've tried to put emphasis on this for the last almost 2 years now, and I feel like not enough people talk about it, because the scene is at least framed in the way that the group is being shown that scene. Now, whether or not it actually is the case, I guess we don't really know. They don't talk about it or address it afterwards, but they're also kind of busy, I don't know, fighting a god the next, 20-30 minutes, so they don't have time to talk about it. Now, if the Zack scene isn't being shown to our group, then I gotta question the creative decision to frame the scene the way that they did, especially since we get the distorted vision very similar to the Whisper Harbinger stuff later on. And there may be other examples throughout Remake of Cloud finding out information that he shouldn't know yet, at least based on the original Final Fantasy VII, but these are like the 3 big ones that I kind of always think about. And I've always just interpreted the devs sprinkling this stuff throughout the Remake story to kind of let us know that the truth's going to come out sooner, because they keep teasing Cloud finding out the truth. But also, if we're going to follow the events of FF7 for the most part when it comes to the Remake story, then Cloud wouldn't know the truth until Midil, right? But that's not going to be till at least Game 3, if not later than that, because people will have different ideas of where they think Part 2 is going to end, but the furthest I've ever heard is the North Crater, right? The North Crater segment is where Part 2 is going to end for some people in their minds. Midil happens after that, dude. So again, Game 3 minimum, according to pretty much the entire community. I just don't see them trying to string this along when it's very well known. For one, the game being 25 years old, that's the main thing here, so a lot of people do know what happens in Final Fantasy VII, but also, even people that played Final Fantasy Remake for the first time and never even played FF7 have retroactively gone back and played Final Fantasy VII, so again, it's not a secret to them. Or they've also gone back and played Crisis Core, so again, not a secret to them. Or even people that don't know shit about FF7, but they play Remake, and they see this character at the end of the game, they have no idea who it is. They've never seen him before. It's not Cloud or Sephiroth or Tifa or Aerith. They don't know who this guy is. They see his name Zack, and maybe even just do a simple Google search to find out who the character is, and then they would then learn the truth of the FF7 story and Cloud's history and past. So pretty much not a single person that plays Remake would not know the truth of Cloud's history and his faulty memories and shit. So I just don't see what the point would be to string it along for, 2 or 3 or 4 games or some shit that Cloud has these faulty memories when it's very well known by pretty much everybody that plays Remake. But also, something that always bothered me when it came to the original Final Fantasy VII is that Tifa knows that Cloud's wrong, because Tifa was there during the Nibelheim incident, but she never corrects him. There are certain things that she doesn't know, like she doesn't know that Cloud wasn't a member of Soldier. She had seen him for several years at this point, and she did know that he was in Nibelheim during the Nibelheim incident. He was just one of the Soldier cadet dudes. But a lot of stuff he talks about during the Calm flashback was all Zack, right? And she knows that. She knows that he's wrong in those moments, and I feel like it wouldn't make sense for her not to correct him. Because why wouldn't you correct your friend when they're misremembering stuff? How often have you corrected your friends when they tell a story that isn't right? Like, it's really that simple. She doesn't know that he's telling this story because he has fucked up memories, or took on Zack's memories, or had Mako poisoning for years, so on and so forth. He's simply misremembering aspects of the Nibelheim incident, and it just doesn't make sense that Tifa wouldn't correct him, and I can't imagine the devs would just want to gloss this over and ignore it, because it just doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not saying like Tifa's gonna stop Cloud while he's talking, look him directly in the eyes and say, "You're not Zack Fair, bitch." She can definitely correct him on certain stuff along the way to kind of lead him down the path of learning the truth. Now, one of the biggest controversial stuff when it comes to this topic is a lot of people don't think that they're going to change the live stream scene that happens in Medeal because it's such an iconic scene. For a lot of devs, it's their favorite scene. For a lot of them, it's almost the conclusion to the FF7 story, even though we do stuff after that. Which obviously I agree with. This is one of the most important segments in the entire Final Fantasy VII story because you learn the truth of Cloud. Because if you're going into FF7 for the first time, you notice these things along the way where there's some inconsistencies and things like that, and something seems off with Cloud, and you get the truth here. Completely agree with that, right? Thing is, this can happen anywhere, right? All it is Tifa and Cloud falling into the live stream. Maybe Cloud's mind's got to be broken for this scene to happen, but that could also happen at any other point. But all they have to do is fall into the live stream together. You can do that almost anywhere on the planet, specifically Mako reactors. I mean, that's exactly what happened with Sephiroth in the original Final Fantasy VII whenever Cloud quote-unquote killed him, right? He launches him off to the side, he falls down into the Mako, into the live stream, and travels to the North Crater. So Tifa and Cloud can fall into the live stream at really any point that has access to the live stream, and this can happen in Nibelheim, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an advocate for Part 2 in Nibelheim, but more than likely when it comes to Remake, there's going to be a lot of revelations there, and it's possible that some shit that gets revealed, whether it's from Sephiroth or whoever, could break Cloud's mind, and maybe Sephiroth does it intentionally because he has knowledge of, the past, present, future, whatever the case. He knows the events of the original Final Fantasy VII. He knows what it takes to break Cloud's mind, so maybe he does it intentionally within Nibelheim. And then maybe somehow, Tifa and Cloud end up in the live stream. I mean, Sephiroth probably has that kind of power, right? It took a weapon enemy to destroy parts of Medeal so that they fall into the planet, but Sephiroth could definitely do that if he wanted to. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. That's just one of the possibilities, right? It's one way they could go about it. It's not maybe the best idea, but it's an option. You also have Zack, whatever's going on with Zack. If he's in our world, in our timeline, if he ever finds a way to catch up with our characters, I mean, if Cloud sees Zack, in front of him, standing before him with the Buster Sword on his back, 100% his mind's going to break. The point of all this is the live stream segment can still happen. It just doesn't specifically have to happen in Medeal. There's just multiple ways it could go about it. It's just Tifa helping Cloud piece his mind back together. And me personally, with the vibe that I get from Remake, I just think that Cloud's going to learn the truth within the next game. Because I don't think they're going to make us wait till Game 3 for Cloud to learn that he's not who he thinks he is. Because he's already, damn near Advent Children level Cloud in terms of his power and strength when it comes to the end of the game, right? He's literally warping through, time and space when he's fighting Sephiroth at the edge of creation, right? He's, Super Saiyan levels already. So I feel like they're going to not brush past it because it's a very important moment for the character of Cloud and the FF7 story, but I just personally don't think they're going to string it along for more than one game. It obviously wouldn't make sense for Cloud to learn the truth when it came to the first game, because we're still early on in the Final Fantasy VII story. We're just in Midgar. But I think somewhere, at least maybe by the end of the second game, I think Cloud's going to know the truth of his past. But that, of course, is just my thoughts and opinion on this. I could absolutely 100% be wrong here, but that's the vibe I'm getting from Remake. But of course, I want to pass it off to you guys. So when it comes to the Remake story, but specifically talking about Cloud learning the truth of Zack and everything that happened within the Nibelheim incident and all that other shit, how do you think he's going to learn it, and when do you think he's going to learn it? Is it going to be the next game, Game 3? Is it going to be exactly in Medeal like it happened in the original game, or is it just going to be something different in general? My dudes, that's going to be the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and did more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter, @DavidYT. I'm on Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Rogaine, or leave it like Cobain.